To Capitol Hill now, where control over the House of Representatives remains up for grabs right now. CBS News continues to characterize House control as leaning Republican. Democrats would need a net gain of 4 seats to win a House majority. 19 races have still not been called as of this morning. Several of those races are still considered a toss-up. At least 11 House seats changed parties over this election. Nikole Killion joins us now from Capitol Hill with more on that. Nikole, do Democrats feel that they still have a path to win here, do you think?
The short answer is yes, particularly if you talk to Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries, who has urged his members that Democrats aren't conceding anything as of yet. That was his message in a call to House Democrats just last week. And he has acknowledged even in public statements that he believes there are still a number of outstanding races that remain too close to call. That being said, we know House Republicans feel very strongly about their posture and their positioning and believe that they are on track to retain the House majority, as you showed there in that graphic. There are still a number of outstanding seats, but the magic number that either party needs to cross is 218. So once that threshold is reached, then obviously the House could be called. But no matter who wins, it is very clear that either party would have a very narrow majority in the House, which is what we have seen for the last several cycles.
And Nikole, new congressional members are arriving in Washington tomorrow to begin their orientation on Capitol Hill. But Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer is not allowing some of them to participate. Why is that?
Yeah, well, for that reason, I mean, obviously there are a lot of close contests in the House. Similarly, there are some close contests in the Senate. For instance, the Pennsylvania race hasn't been called, at least by CBS. Some other outlets have called it. But, you know, you have Dave McCormick and Bob Casey locked in a very tough fight. There are still some outstanding 100,000 ballots that still have to be counted, many of those overseas military provisional ballots. So at this point, the incumbent Senator Bob Casey has not conceded that race, although many feel that McCormick at this point has been duly elected. But for that reason, he is not being allowed to participate. And that's pretty much the explanation that we have gotten from the majority leader and his team, is that this is pretty customary because there are those outstanding ballots that still have yet to be counted. They're going to hold off on allowing McCormick to participate in any kind of new membership orientation until those results are finalized. Also worth noting, even in Arizona, a close contest between Ruben Gallego and Kari Lake. Even though Gallego is up, he is also hasn't been invited to this new member orientation. So Schumer's team basically argues that, look, you know, we want to make sure these results are final, and we're not trying to slight anyone, but that's just kind of how the way it's worked in the past, and they kind of want to keep that precedent of waiting until those results are finalized before allowing these candidates to participate in any kind of new member orientation.
Yeah, it's important to note, though, this is interesting, Nikole, that leadership elections are expected to begin on Wednesday in both the House and the Senate. President-elect Trump hasn't endorsed any candidates yet, but he is weighing in on how they should lead, particularly in the Senate. He's calling on the next majority leader to support recess appointments for his nominees. Can you walk us through what that means?
Yeah, well, basically a recess appointment would allow the president-elect to kind of circumvent the process of having his nominees go through Senate confirmation. And in essence, the Senate would have to be out for 10 days or longer to be able to do these recess appointments. Now, keep in mind that for the last several years, this has not really been customary. Every couple of days, we have what are called pro forma sessions, which basically kind of keeps presidents from being able to do just that, to, you know, move any kind of appointments through the recess process. But what is notable is that certainly as we prepare for those leadership elections that you mentioned, particularly for Senate Majority Leader, all 3 of the candidates have pretty much backed this idea, Rick Scott being one of them, saying that he 100% agrees with the president-elect. But John Cornyn out of Texas, John Thune, the Republican whip from South Dakota, have also said that they're willing to keep all options on the table. So certainly this could be a deciding factor in terms of whoever is victorious in the majority leadership race, certainly having that backing from the president-elect in terms of endorsing his position, even though the president-elect hasn't made an official endorsement of any of the candidates just yet.
All right. Nikole Killion live for Capitol Hill. Thank you so much for that, Nikole.